Hello students, today we are going to start the second part of our unit, that is the unit number 5, system of particles and rigid body. In the first video we have done about the center of mass and we have calculated the coordinates of the center of mass for the different cases. The next topic is that we are going to discuss today or in this video, that is the angular velocity. This is the angular velocity of rigid body, or you can say that we are going to discuss about the rotational motion or the particular physical quantities those are responsible for the rotational motion of the object. Angular velocity of the rigid body. For that, let us suppose we have a rigid body. We have a rigid body that is rotating about the particular axis. It having the rotational motion. As we have explained already, the body is said to be in the rotational motion if every particle of the body is rotating about the given axis of the rotation. For that, let us suppose I have taken the particle P at any time. The particle is at point P such that the distance of the particle from the axis of the rotation is given by r, and after time t, let us suppose this particle reaches at the point P dash after particular time delta t such that the angular displacement covered is the delta theta. Whenever the particle is moving in the rotational motion, we are going to talk about the angular displacement, which means we are going to find the angle traversed by the particle. Clear? So delta theta is the angle covered by the particle from point P to P dash in time delta t. Now the angular velocity is denoted by omega. It is given by the ratio of angular displacement to the time. Angular velocity omega is equal to the ratio of angular displacement to the time taken by the particle to cover the given displacement. So this is called the average angular velocity. It is called the average angular velocity. Now if delta t approaches to 0, I have made the limiting value of the delta t. In that case, omega will be limit delta t approaches to 0, delta theta by delta t, that is equal to d theta by dt. That is equal to d theta upon dt. This is the angular velocity of the particle, and which velocity? It is called the instantaneous angular velocity. It is the instantaneous angular velocity. It is called the instantaneous angular velocity of the object given by omega is equal to d theta by dt. Clear? Now next one is what will be the units of the angular velocity. The units of the angular velocity are units, that is the radian per second. The unit of the angular velocity is the radian per second. Clear? Now next one is we have to find the relation between the linear velocity and angular velocity. Next topic is the relation between linear velocity and angular velocity. We have to find the relation between these two. We are going to calculate the relation between the linear velocity and angular velocity. For that, let us suppose a rigid body is rotating about the z-axis with angular velocity omega. Omega is the axial vector. It is acting along the axis of the rotation of the particle. Now, let us suppose initially any particle is at point P at time t is equal to 0. the particle is at point P. Then after it is going to move like this. Now after time delta t, let us suppose it reaches at the point P dash such that delta theta is the angular displacement covered by the particle from point P to P dash. Now let us suppose this P dash distance is equal to delta r, or the displacement, linear displacement covered is the delta r. Now delta r that is equal to can be written as d theta, or the delta theta cross of r, where r is the radius. We have calculated from the definition of the angle. Angle is equal to arc upon radius. In this case, arc I have taken, that is the delta r, and the radius is the r in which this particle is revolving around the particular axis of rotation. Now next one is the differentiate or divide by delta t on both sides. You will get delta r by delta t, that is equal to delta theta by delta t cross r. Now delta r by delta t, that is the linear velocity v, that will be equal to omega cross r. V is equal to omega cross r. So this is the relation between the linear velocity and angular velocity. The linear velocity is equal to omega cross r, the cross product of the angular velocity and the radius of the circle in which the particle is rotating about the given axis of rotation. Clear? Now next topic is the angular acceleration. Next topic we are going to discuss here, that is the angular acceleration. Angular acceleration. Angular acceleration. What is the angular acceleration? Basically, it is equal to the ratio of the angular velocity to the time. Change in the angular velocity, it is denoted by alpha. Alpha bar will be equal to omega 2 minus omega 1 upon t2 minus t1. Alpha bar is equal to the angular acceleration is equal to the ratio of change in angular velocity divided by time, or it can be written as delta omega upon delta t. Now if delta t approaches to 0, then alpha is equal to limit delta t approaches to 0 delta omega upon delta t, and this is equal to the d omega upon dt. So it is the instantaneous acceleration. This acceleration is called the instantaneous acceleration. It is called the instantaneous acceleration. Or if I am going to write the omega is equal to d theta by dt, then alpha will be equal to d2 theta upon dt square. So this is the value of the alpha in terms of the angular displacement. Next, what will be the SI unit of the alpha? SI unit is the radian per second square. This is the radian per second square. Here the R will be the small radian per second square. Clear? Now next come to the torque and angular momentum. Next topic is the torque and angular momentum. Torque and we have the torque and angular momentum. What is the torque? जैसे हम लीनियर मोशन में बात करते हैं तो मोशन के लिए हमें एक फिजिकल क्वांटिटी रिक्वायर्ड है, दैट इज कॉल्ड द फोर्स. सिमिलरली फॉर द रोटेशनल मोशन देयर इज द रिक्वायरमेंट ऑफ द फिजिकल क्वांटिटी एंड दैट इज कॉल्ड द टॉर्क, और यू कैन सी दैट टॉर्क इज द रोटेशनल एनालॉग ऑफ द फोर्स। मीन्स जैसे हम लीनियर मोशन में फोर्स वर्ड यूज कर रहे हैं, तो यहाँ पे हम क्या यूज करेंगे वर्डिंग, दैट इज द टॉर्क। मीन्स टॉर्क इज द एनी फिजिकल क्वांटिटी दैट इज रिक्वायर्ड फॉर द motion of the particle in the circular path. This is the just basic concept. Now we are going to define the torque. What is the torque? Whenever we are going to rotate an object, let us suppose I want to rotate this marker. I am going to rotate like this. Means my thumb and finger are going to apply force on the opposite directions. The forces are on the opposite directions. Means equal force. Equal and opposite forces are acting, but their line of action is the different one. And when this situation arises, the particle is start to rotate. The particle is going to rotate when the equal and opposite forces are acting on the two ends of the particle, or on the object, on the body. When the equal and opposite forces are acting, but their line of action is the different one. Now what is the torque? Basically torque is the, let us suppose this is an object, on this is the force F1 and this is the force F2, or the forces are equal, and the perpendicular distance between these two. Means when the two equal and opposite forces are acting on the object but their line of action is the different one, we will talk about the torque. In that case there will be the torque acting on the object, and that torque is given by, that torque is equal to the, it is represented by, torque is represented by the symbol and it is called the tau, T-A-U, tau, and it will be equal to the product of force into the perpendicular distance between these forces. Either force into perpendicular distance between these forces. Torque is equal to R cross F, where R is the perpendicular distance between the forces and F is the either force. F is the either force and R is the perpendicular distance between the forces. Or from here we can write the torque as torque is equal to Rf sin theta, because the cross product of the two vectors can be written as AB sin theta. Now I am going to redraw the diagram. Let us suppose this is any particle P lying in the xy plane. Let us suppose R is the position vector. R is the position vector of this particle in the plane. Next one is the, let us suppose a force F is acting at an angle theta to the direction of this position vector. Now the direction of the position vector is this much. Let us suppose this is any force. F force is acting at an angle theta to the direction of the particular this much, the direction of the position vector. Clear? Now if I am going to extend it in the backward direction, if this is angle theta, then this will be also theta, vertically opposite angles. If this is angle theta, then this red line and black line, after going to stand like this, these are going to be parallel lines, and a straight line is intersecting these. If this angle is theta, then this is also angle theta, that is the alternate angles. Clear? Now this is the force F. Force F making an angle theta with this direction R vector, with the direction of the position vector. Now I can write the components of this force F. The one component is the F cos theta, that is called the horizontal component, and this is the F sin theta, that is the vertical component of the force. Now come here, I have written the torque is equal to R into F sin theta. I can write like this. So torque की another definition हमारे पास कौन सी आ रही है? Torque is equal to the product of position vector and the perpendicular component of the force. Perpendicular component of the force acting at the particle P. Next, I am going to resolve R vector into components. Next one is the I am going to resolve vector R into components. The components will be, here is the R cos theta horizontal component, and there will be the R sin theta, that is the perpendicular component. Now I can write this equation as torque is equal to R sin theta into F. R sin theta into F, and this R sin theta is called the lever arm. It is called the lever arm. So torque can be defined as the product of the lever arm and the force acting on the particle. Similarly, this F is called the tangential component. It is called the tangential component. So we can define the torque in three ways. First one is the torque is equal to the product of the force, magnitude of either force, and the perpendicular distance between the forces. Second, the torque is equal to the product of the distance and the tangential component of the force. Third one is the torque is equal to the product of the lever arm and the force acting on the particle. Clear? Next one is the direction of this torque. Direction of torque can be calculated. Direction of torque can be calculated with the help of the right hand rule for the vector product from here. We will use the right hand and curl the fingers from R to F such that a smallest angle between the R and F is going to be hold in our palm, and the thumb in which direction the thumb is going to point out, that is the direction of the torque. Next come to the maximum torque and minimum torque. Maximum torque. Torque will be maximum when sin theta is the maximum. Torque is given by RF sin theta. Now the value depends on the sin theta. The torque is maximum when sin theta is maximum. Sin theta maximum means theta is the 90 degree. That's why whenever you are going to open the door, we always apply force perpendicular to the door. When you can say that when we have applied force perpendicular to the door, then we can easily open the door. And if second case I am going to consider minimum torque when sin theta is 0 or theta is 0 degree or 180 degree. Means if you are going to apply force parallel or anti-parallel to the hinge of the door, in that case the torque will be 0 and the door will hardly rotate. Clear? And the next case, if R is equal to 0, means if on the door you are going to apply force at the hinge, यहाँ से आपने डोर को कनेक्ट किया हुआ है, अगर आप वहाँ पे फोर्स अप्लाई करोगे तो देयर विल बी द नो रोटेशन ऑफ द डोर. In that case, the torque will be minimum. When the R is 0, torque is minimum. When the angle of the application of the force is 0 or 180 degree, in that case torque is minimum. And when the angle of the application of the force is the 90 degree, in that case the torque will be maximum and we can easily rotate the door. Clear? Next one is we are going to write down the components of the torque. Next topic is the components of torque. Components of torque. For that, I am going to use the relation torque is equal to R cross F, and torque I am writing tau x I cap, tau y j cap, tau z k cap, that is equal to xi plus yj plus zk cap cross of fxi plus fyj and fz k cap. And the cross product we are going to open with the help of the determinant. So here is the I, J and K, X, Y, Z, Fx, Fy and Ft. Open this determinant. I cap x Fy minus y Fx minus of j cap x Fz minus z Fx plus k cap into, it will be x Fy. So we have written here the I cap, here will be y Fz and z Fy, and here is the x Fy minus y Fx. Clear? So these are the, on the right and left hand side we have the torque I x I cap, y j cap and tau z t cap. From here you can find the value of tau x, that is y Fz minus z Fy. Tau y will be equal to z Fx minus x Fz and the tau z will be equal to x Fy minus y Fx. So these are the components of the torque acting along the x axis, y axis and z axis. Clear? Now next one is the angular momentum. Next topic that we are going to discuss here, that is the angular momentum. Next topic is angular as we have studied in the linear motion as the linear momentum. In this chapter on whenever we are talking about the rotational motion, there will be the angular momentum. The angular momentum is denoted by L and it is given by the product of the linear momentum and the radius of the circle in which the particle is rotating. It is the product of the radius of the circle in which the particle is rotating and the linear momentum of the particle. Clear? The next one is the, we have to find the relation between the torque and angular momentum. The relation between torque and angular momentum. The relation between torque and angular momentum. Now we know that L is equal to R cross P. This is the given here. Now I am going to differentiate this equation with respect to time on both sides. Differentiating equation 1, equation 1 with respect to time t, you will get dl by dt, that is equal to d by dt of R cross P vector. Now open the differentiation. dr by dt cross P plus R cross dP by dt. So dl by dt on the left hand side, right hand side, dr by dt, it can be written as the velocity v and m, p can be written as m into v plus R cross dP by dt is the force according to the Newton's second law of motion. So m into v cross p plus R cross f, and v cross p is always 0. From here you will get dl by dt, that is equal to R cross f, and on the right hand side we have the definition of the torque. So torque will be equal to dl by dt, or the torque is equal to the rate of change of angular momentum. Torque is equal to rate of change of angular momentum. It is the rotational analog of Newton's second law of motion. If we are going to write down the Newton's second law of motion in the linear motion, in that case here will be the force F will be equal to dP by dt. Now in the rotational motion, it is the torque is equal to dl by dt. Clear? So this is all about the torque we have discussed here. In the next lecture, we will make the discussion on the movement of inertia. Thank you.